All right, so opening up in child's pose. As you find your position here, take in a couple of breaths. Try to feel heavy throughout the body, restful. And then open up this pose. Reach the arms as long out in front of you as possible. Be on the fingertips. Lift the forearms, elbows, and upper arm bones towards the sky. A little more room for the breath here. Inch the fingertips out a little bit further. Enjoy the stretch. Walk the hands over towards the first side. Walk the hands across your center and over to your second side. Good, and then back into the middle. Come up to all fours. And do cat and cow. I usually cue the breath, inhale through cow and exhale through cat. It really does not matter. And it can be really fun to try it the opposite way as well. So maybe try exhaling through cow here. And then a nice inhale as you round the back, drop the head into cat. This month within the mantra, live simply. I actually think changing things up, trying a few new or slightly different things, fit in that mantra. If we get so tight in our routines, the way we think we need to move or should move, that's not simple at all. It just becomes a checklist of all the things to do. Just greet yourself on the mat through this practice. Move how feels simple to you. Downward facing dog here. You can find more stillness or pedal it out here in this first dog pose. Inhale, come forward to plank. From the toes or from the knees, do a full push-up and then stretch back to downward facing dog. And do that 3 more times. Forward to plank. Full range of motion for your push-up. Toes or knees each time. Do 4 times total. From downward facing dog, come back to plank and then lower your knees down to the mat. Lift your right leg up and back in line with the spine and take the left arm out in front. So opposite arm and leg. Try looking past the lifted fingertips here. Lower the left hand, lower the right knee. Give it a go on the second side. Left leg goes up. Right leg, right arm out in front. And lower it down. We're doing this tremulous pose prep really quick. Cross your right shin over the left. Sit back on your legs. Place your hands at the line of your knees. Lift your knees off of the floor. Round your back for cat pose. Take a breath. And then lower it down and switch the cross. Left shin or calf on top. Hands by your knees. Feet can stay on the floor as you round the back and lift the knees off of the mat. Try to make the arms straight. Lower it down, slide to lie all the way down onto your back. As you do that, sit on your hands, legs up into the air. Leg lifts, legs go down, legs go up. To make this more doable, try one leg at a time. More difficult, legs stay together, glue the inside edges of the feet. More challenging still, hands behind your head and lift the head and shoulders off of the mat. Go slower. One more leg lift. Pull the knees back into your chest. Rock yourself up to a seat and then all the way over to plank pose. Lie flat down onto your belly. Reach the hands behind you. Turn the palms to face up to the sky and lift everything that you can up off of the mat. Shalabhasana, locust pose. Exhale, lower it down. Change the hands to the front. Superhero, inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower it down. Take the hands behind your head now. Point the elbows out to the side. Bend the knees. Feet touch. And lift up. Exhale, lower it down. Press back to child's pose. Downward facing dog. Look to the front of the mat. Step, walk, jump your way to the front. Come up halfway. Forward fold. Stand up, reach the arms to the sky. Stay right here, top of your mat, arms up. Take your right hand, hold on to your left upper arm bone, lean your head back into the right forearm. Try to stand even a little taller. And then lean over towards the right side, push your hips to the left. Come back to the center, switch hands. Strong upper chest, shoulder opening there with this work. And then get into the sides of the body as well. Lean over towards the left, push the hips to the right. Come back to the center. Arms overhead, bend your knees, sit into the legs. Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Step it back to plank. Lower it down to the mat. Peel the chest up for cobra. Do downward facing dog, hips up and back. Breathe here. Look in between your hands. Move to the front of your mat. Half lift. Forward fold. Stand, reach the arms overhead. Bring palms together, center of the chest. Tree pose, stand with your left leg on the ground. Pick your right foot into tree pose. The leg can go low or high, above or below the knee. Try pushing the foot into the leg into your foot. Reach the arms up to the sky. And then lower it down and try the second side. Left leg onto the left foot onto the right leg. Try palms to the center of the chest at first. And then try arms overhead. Let's bring it all back down. Shake out the legs a little bit. And then reach both arms back up. Another round of sun salutation A. Fold forward and over. Inhale, half lift. Step back to plank. Lower down to the mat. Peel the chest up for cobra. Change downward facing dog. Look in between the hands. Step or jump to the front of the mat. Half lift. Forward fold. Stand, reach the arms up. Palms together, center of the chest. Again, lift the arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Now keep the right foot forward. Step your left foot back into our low lunge. And change to warrior two. Spin the back heel down. Cartwheel up. Open the chest, shoulders, waistline to the side, but look out over the front fingertips. Change warrior two back to a high lunge. So we'll pick up the back heel, rotate the hips back to a closed position, and lift both arms up to the sky. Lower the hands down around the front foot. Step back to plank pose. Lower to the mat. Move through the vinyasa flows, a lift of the chest. And then into downward facing dog. Bend your knees and walk your hands backwards to your feet. Hands to the hips, point the elbows up and stand up. We're staying on that same right leg. Look towards the front of your mat and take the giant step forward into a high lunge. Step the right foot forward. Lift the arms up. Now step the left foot forward, Utkatasana, bend the knees, sit into the legs. Stand all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Second side, keep the left foot forward, step the right foot back, low lunge. Spin the back heel down so you line up about heel to heel as you do so, and come to warrior two. Gaze out over the front fingertips. Change to your high lunge. Lift the right heel, rotate the hips, torso more towards the front, short side of the mat again. Lift the arms overhead. Lower the arms down either side of the front foot. Step back to plank. Lower to the mat. Peel the chest up for cobra. And go to downward facing dog. Again, bend the knees and walk your hands backwards to the feet. Hands to the waist to point the elbows up and come up with a nice long spine. Stare at the front edge of the mat, ready for our big step. Little bend in the knees, left foot, step forward. Create your high lunge here. Arms overhead. Step the back foot up, Utkatasana. Stand all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Again, right foot stays forward, step the left foot back. This time, bring both hands to the inside of the right foot. Spin the back heel down. You're in the lower stage of extended side angle. So doing our best with the right hand staying on the ground, take the left hand to your waist. And then turn to open the body to the center, to the side, and look up towards the sky. The bottom hand can prop up higher, all the way elbow to knee or underneath the block to make that more accessible. And then let's all stretch the left arm palm down overhead. And then we'll build all the way back down. So left hand comes back to the waist. Look down, move the right fingertips down if they were lifted. Left fingertips down and come into your low lunge with the back heel lifted. Okay, here's a fun change up right into side plank. Go into your left hand and then swing your right leg back. Open up, side plank. I have my right leg crossed over, so both legs are giving me some support in that side plank. And then can you place your right foot into tree pose? Try it or don't, while in side plank. Keep whatever is happening there, including keeping tree pose, and full plank, 2 hands down if you are working with tree pose. Right knee faces out to the side here. Okay, point the right knee down to the floor. Side plank, second side with the bottom knee down, with the right knee down now. And come back, 2 hands on the ground, full plank. Lower down to the mat. Peel the chest up for cobra. Go to downward facing dog. We'll give the second side a chance to see what's happening there. Left foot forward, low lunge. Bring both hands to the inside of your foot. Spin the back heel down, and we're working that side angle pose from the ground up this time. So right hand to the waist, and then try to spin the torso more towards the side of the room. Look up if possible. And at that point, you choose to slide the left hand a little higher under a block or elbow to the knee. Or don't. And everyone reach your right arm palm down overhead. And then we're walking it back. Right hand to the waist. Look back down, left hand to the floor, right hand to the floor. Low lunge. Okay, hands on either side of the front foot. Here's where we're going to try to slide the left leg back, kind of cross it over, so you get into side plank. Left hand down, right arm up to the sky, side plank. Can you place your right leg into tree pose? Both hands down, stay in plank with the knee out to the side. And then the knee would go down to the floor with right hand down. Lift the left arm up, side plank. Full plank pose, both hands down. Lower down to the mat, peel the chest up for cobra. Change to downward facing dog. Give yourself the simplicity of down dog for several breaths there. And then look forward in between the hands. Step or jump up to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Stand, reach both arms up to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. We've got one more play with plank pose. Here we are, lift the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Right into plank. So 2 hands down, walk the feet back so you're in full plank again. Pull your right knee up and into the chest. If you did this really fast, it would look like mountain climbers, right? So right knee up and into the chest, and you hold it there. Now, without changing your hands, just kick the right leg under the body out to the left side. It's a twist. And then pull it back in and step back. Try it on the second side. You pull the left knee in, round the back, and then twist and kick the leg under the body to the right side. Pull it back in and step back. Lower your knees and sit back on your heels. Give your hands a little break. While you're giving your hands a break and working in your wrist, watch me. We'll open that up in one more way. So you pull the knee in, and as you twist, before you kick, the opposite hand, but it should be the one that's closest to it, grabs hold of the pinky edge of your foot and you try to kick out. And it's side plank with the kick under rather than on top. And then you come back in and back. It's more of a strength component, not so much a stretch component here. Okay, let's give it a try. Come out to plank pose. Imagine those slow mountain climbers. Pull the right knee in. As you slide to the inside edge, you're flat on the left foot. Left hand comes up, holds on to the pinky toe edge of your right foot and shoot it out. Yeah, not as bad as we might think. Step it back. Try it on the second side. Left leg in. Flat on the right foot. Grab hold. Shoot it out. Pull it back in and back to plank. Lower it down. Cobra. Celebrate that lift and experience. Child's pose. Push back. Lie flat down on your yoga mat. Like superhero pose. Arms out in front. Roll onto your right side. Stack the whole body. One line as much as possible from the fingertips back to your toes. And then break that line just a little bit, like a tiny little curve, by putting your feet more towards the front and your hand a little more towards the front, like a slight banana shape of the body, not much. Can you take your top leg into tree pose like we were trying to do and hold in side plank? And then top arm up to the sky. You can prop the head up or leave it down. This is endless pose. We either stop here or try holding onto your big toe and stretch the leg as straight as possible up to the sky. I like to look down at my extended leg, at that big toe. And the thought here is that if anything, you would fall forward, not back. It's easy to want to fall back, sit onto your butt, but I want you to work so hard that you would fall forward, if anything, here. Endless pose. Release if you've got that straight hold of the foot. Lay it all the way down and roll onto your belly and then onto the second side. And if you did a lot of banana shape in the body and you want a little more challenge, work your way towards as much of a straight line as possible. I like to do that by literally lining my whole body up along the edge of the yoga mat, and then I can see where those different curves and dips are. Right leg now goes into your tree pose and right hand up. Try to find that balance. Oh, that's so much harder. Just a little inch or two difference in taking out the banana. And you either stay with the tree pose leg or grab hold of your big toe and try to stretch it straighter. That will make us want to fall back and down. Again, the action, the work is to stay balanced in the middle, so much so that if anything, you're falling forward with the activity. And release. Lie down onto your belly. I think that one's a big mental pose as much as anything. Hands out for superhero. We might as well do it again. Inhale and lift, lift, lift. Exhale, lower it down. Push back to child's pose. And then roll to sit back onto your heels and come all the way up to kneeling. Kneeling on your mat with your hips right over the line of the knees, and the knees themselves hip distance apart. Take the arms out in front of you for our camel balances here. And I call it a camel balance because we're only going halfway back, lean back. Grip strong in the quads, and then come back all the way full upright. So if we're thinking of the simplicity of this, we're relying on strength in the legs, no back bend here. Do it a couple more times. Lean back, look at your fingertips to help guide you, and come upright. Nice squeeze in the glutes, lean back, and upright. Try full camel pose, so as you lean back, then hold on to your heels. To get the heels a little taller, just tuck the toes. And then puff the chest and the hips more forward to create the back bend. Keep looking up to the sky, don't drop the head back. And then hands back to the waist and lift up to neutral. Step the right foot forward. I kick the back toes a little more over towards the right side to help balance this. Now straighten the right leg and hinge forward into our hamstring stretch. A little different balance and agility to get us there. So simple pose, little changes. And then can you bring the hands back to the waist if you're lower? Come all the way upright. And swing the leg back to your kneeling position. We're noticing how the body moves, what we need to adjust to get into left foot forward. Right foot can swing more towards the left side to help with the balance. Straighten the leg, flex the foot, toes up, and then hinge from the hips. The butt pushes back as you lean the head forward. Hands up or hands lower. If you're working with a yoga block, hands can always be under the block to bring the floor a little closer. I trust you always know how to use that. And then both hands back to the waist, press down through the legs and come upright and swing it back to your camel. Come over to all fours. Lift the right leg up and back, left arm out in front, just like the very beginning. This time, bend the right knee. Use the left hand to reach back and catch hold of your foot. Push the foot into your hand and lift. Opposite arm and leg, elevated bow pose. Release, straight arm and leg, all fours down to the mat. Second side, left leg up and back, right arm out in front. Again, opposite arm and leg, elevated bow pose. Bend the knee, reach back, hold on to your foot, and try to elevate from there. The next pose is super similar, except it's same arm and leg. So come back down to all fours. Lift the right leg again. Move the left hand a little forward, a little off to the side so that it can catch the balance as you lift the same arm and leg. And then bend the back knee, reach back, hold on to the foot. Try to keep the knee pointed down to the floor. I think we did this on Tuesday if you were with me. So still square in the hips and shoulders as much as possible, not opening up to the side. Release, set it down. Second side, lift the left leg up. Firm in the glute. Again, maybe try right hand a little more out and over, making the balance easier as you lift the left arm up. And no doubt, we're all on one side, we're leaning, the hips are opening a little bit. We're just doing our best to keep them square down. Hold on to the foot. Elevated bow pose, same arm and leg here. Release. Good old downward facing dog. Let's stretch it out. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh from this down dog position. So you get into a figure four shape. Sometimes I'll do this in the beginning as we open, trying it out a little harder here at the end. I think it's harder because we're a little more taxed in the strength. See what you can hold on to. And then step the right foot back down. Second side, left ankle over the right knee, bend the right knee. Sit into the legs to open up. And back 2 feet to the ground, down dog. Crawl the knees close to the upper arms, just to really burn it out here. Crane pose, crow pose, Bakasana. Set the knees onto the upper arm bones. Can the feet lift? Set the feet down, go into Malasana, Yogi squat. Toes turn out enough to provide you space. Hands get to come off the floor finally. Catch your way down to your butt. Boat pose. Extend the arms and legs. Hold on to the knees if you'd like. Legs straight or bent. Baddha Konasana, butterfly, soles of the feet together, knees out to the side, fold over. A quick turn into settled, calmer poses here. Bring the torso back upright. Hold on to the outside of the knees to pull them in. Stretch the legs straight. Seated forward fold. Legs can be straight or with a little bend behind the knees. As you fold over, try to press the belly onto the thighs to help protect and give a little more space for the low back. And in that manner, we get to stretch through the spine and worry a little less about stretching in the hamstrings. So again, we're trying to push the belly right onto the thighs, create that closed chain in the front side of the body. And then change again to lie all the way down onto your back, knees into the chest. Take the hands out to your T, or you can bend at the elbows. Both knees fall to the right side in a supine twist. Bring the knees across your center, over to the second side. And back into the middle. Hold on to your right leg, extend the left leg back down to the floor. You can go full leg or sole the foot to the mat and stretch the right leg up to the sky. Hold it anywhere on the calf or on the thigh here. Enjoy the stretch. Rebend the right knee into the chest. Switch legs. Pull the left leg in. Stretch up. And then lower the left leg down. Any little unwinding movements. One more pose added in here. And from that unwinding, your Shavasana. Lie down on your back, on your side, or you can choose a seated position. Look for stillness here for 2 minutes. Slowly now come back. Little movement, connection with breath. If you're lying back, take your time to come back to a seated position. And draw palms together, thumbs to the sternum. To give thanks to this practice, our ability to move and to be with it, to let the gifts of it transfer into the day. We close in the sound of Om. Sing along, listen, tune it out. Empty out your breath here. Take a deep breath in. Again, in great gratitude to yourself, each other in this practice. Namaste.